Hi, everybody. I got it wrapped up dancing here with my koala. You can see we've got our Hawaiian shirts on here for this show. Welcome, everybody. This is Freestyle with Mark Fisher on my channel, Las Vegas Travel and More. And we want to welcome you to the show. And basically, this is my weekly video blog where we're going to talk about fun things like travel and movies and television series you're watching and books. And we want this to be an interactive channel. So it's going to be, you'll be able to get in the chat. And I want to have discussions with the people that are watching. And hopefully you all, have things to say and, ask questions, whatever. But it's going to be a fun channel. We're going to talk about all sorts of things. Like I said, Las Vegas travel, my life, anything you want to ask about, anything you want to talk about, we'll do that. I see some people are in the chat already, and I want to welcome everybody again to the channel. Like I said, the show is called Freestyle with Mark Fisher, and the channel is Las Vegas Travel and More. And I'd appreciate it if you would get a chance to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. In the meantime, I wanted to let you all know that from time to time I'm going to have guests and people popping on and being part of the show. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce my first guest here. And he's a friend of mine. He's also a YouTube creator. He has his own channel, and he's a lot of fun to be around and be with. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Denver Stevo. How you doing, Denver Stevo?
Where is he? Where is he? I don't see him.
There he is.
Wonderful. There I am. Hey, I am wonderful, Mark. It's a delightful Saturday after morning, late morning, whatever it is, here in Denver. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. It's just after 9 o'clock in the morning here in Las Vegas, noon Eastern time, of course. We are live, and basically, it's a beautiful. We finally are starting to hit some nice weather. We were 85 degrees yesterday. I see some more people coming in. Hi, Cheryl. Low 7 in Las Vegas. Hey, it is a beautiful day here in Las Vegas. It's going to be in the 80s, I think, again today. And finally, because I know you live in Denver, Colorado, where it's probably freezing cold all winter, but we had a miserable winter here where it was wet and windy and just cold, even up until a couple of weeks ago or a week and a half ago. And now we're finally starting to see some really, really nice weather. So I'm happy about that. How about you? How's it going there in Denver?
This has been a more wintry winter than most winters. I said the word winter 3 times in the same sentence than most, but yeah, it was definitely colder here, more snow. I don't even know if the front yard has melted at all yet. That's where all the shade is. So, but it's all gone in the backyard now. It's actually. It's actually 70 right now. It's going to be in mid 70s today. So we've definitely warmed back up. But it was funny. The beginning of the winter, we had a whole bunch of snow, but my mom up in Minnesota had nothing. And then it finally kind of switched over. Like late in the winter, it decided, oh wait, I'm doing this wrong, and kind of fixed itself up. But yeah, we're good. The dogs like the 70s. I like the 70s. A little more than that, and that dry heat starts to burn a little bit. So I'm very happy.
That's great. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the summertime here, even though it's going to be over 100. I just like the heat so much more than the winter time. The winter's okay for a while, but then it just gets too cold and too miserable. I have to walk my dog 5 times a day, which I gladly do. But when it's windy and cold, it's not any fun for me. Now, my dog loves it because she's a husky and she's got a permanent fur coat year round, so she's not so happy in the summertime, but we're going to discuss that here shortly. I see more people getting in the chat, more people watching. Please get in the chat if you have questions or if you want to make any comments. We're going to pop you up, and this is an interactive show. We're basically talking about fun stuff. I've got some great segments that I hope you all are going to enjoy, and we're going to get started here in just a minute. And
awesome.
I want to welcome you again. This is Freestyle with Mark Fisher, and my channel is Las Vegas Travel and More. And I see more people coming in. Thank you so much for being here. Without further ado, I'm going to go to my first segment here. Okay. And everybody just sit back and relax. And here we go. Good girl. That's my baby. It's my Misha girl. You got it. You got it. There you go. It's playtime with Misha, my dog Misha. I wanted to introduce everybody to Misha. And, she's a Siberian Husky. She's going to be 4 years old in May. And I'll tell a little bit of the backstory about Misha. This is what Misha looked like when I got her. It was 4 years ago during COVID, during the lockdown. And I decided, I had a roommate at the time, and it was just the two of us I live in a 2-bedroom condominium here in Las Vegas. And it was just the two of us. And I decided, I'd really like to get a dog again, because I'd had dogs before. I had rat terriers. I had 2 of them, Darla and Susie. And I had them for quite some time. And unfortunately, they both passed away. So I waited a few years, and I decided, it was kind of lonely during COVID. And we just said, how about we get a puppy? So we went to a puppy store, and they're like $4,000. Like when I had gotten dogs before, I think the most I ever paid for a dog was like $600. I mean, usually they were really inexpensive or that type of thing. And I didn't really care what kind of dog I got. I just wanted one. I was going to try and rescue or do this and that, but it was difficult. You couldn't find them that time, and I didn't want to pay $4,000 for a dog. So I started looking on Craigslist. Which in Las Vegas, I don't know if you guys have it in Denver, but Craigslist is basically the classified ads, online. Oh, yeah. And so I started looking for dogs there, and I just wanted to find like the neighborhood dog that got pregnant and has 8 puppies and they need to get rid of the puppies. You know what I mean? Couldn't find it. So I found a dog that somebody wanted to give up, and it was going to be $1,200. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, maybe I'll do that. I wanted a female. But basically, I was going to go and see this person's dog and see if I liked it or not. But I said, man, let me check Craigslist one more time that morning. So I did, and I saw a picture of Misha. Okay, and she was just adorable, this little husky girl, right? And she was only at that time about 8 weeks old, and they only wanted $600 for her. And so I called immediately. I said, have you sold the dog yet? And they said, no, we just put the ad up like a half an hour ago. And I said, do you still have her? And they said, yeah. And I said, is there any problems with her? They said, no, it's just that I got the dog from my girlfriend, and we have a full-grown German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd did not take to the puppy at all. And she goes, we need the money really badly. And so I decided to put her up for sale. I said, where are you? I'm coming right now, cash, and I will buy the dog. So my roommate and I drove to the local Smith's grocery store parking lot and met this guy, and we bought Misha for $600 cash, and we brought her home, and I've had her ever since. My roommate's no longer here, but this is Misha when I first got her. Incredibly cute. The funny thing about Misha is that I always thought Huskies were gray and black and white, right? Well, she's apparently a ginger Husky. I'd never heard of it before. She's got brown and reddish brown coat with white. And so she's got a really great coloring and stuff. So this is when we first got her, right? Okay. And then here's probably about 2 years ago, what she looked like. She's grown up a lot. And that was after she'd been to the groomers. Okay. And then my roommate decided she wanted to get a puppy too, but she wanted a Rhodesian Ridgeback. And who you see there, that's Cecil. That's the Rhodesian Ridgeback. He's a boy. And they're both standing on their hind legs to give you an idea of how tall and big Cecil is. He weighs 178 pounds now. He's a male. And wow. Rhodesian Ridgeback, and they're the dogs that have the fur going the opposite direction on their back, right?
Yep.
He is the biggest love bug. He's like Scooby-Doo. He just is really, really a lovable dog. And, I just loved him, right? And Misha and him grew up together. and then eventually my roommate, she met a guy and moved out and has a fiance boyfriend now, and so she took Cecil with him. But Misha and Cecil, they got along together famously, right? So that's and Misha news. I took her to the groomer last week, and she got all fluffed up. Huskies have what they call a double coat, okay? And double coat means that, to keep them warm in the winter, they've got an undercoat that actually sheds, and they shed twice a year. It's called blowing their coat, okay? And then so basically your house, my condo, gets covered in dog hair if I don't vacuum daily, so I had to do that. But I decided, she was at the tail end of it, so I went and took her to the groomer. She got a bath, she got her nails done and all that, and so she's looking really, really good. And then the other thing about Huskies is that they get very hot, obviously, because they're wearing a winter coat here. So she usually likes to sleep in the summertime on the kitchen floor because it's tile, right, to keep her cool.
Nice and cool, yeah.
I bought this for her last week, and that's a cooling pad, and that's next to my chair, and it's a gel pad. You know how you could get a gel pad. It actually literally will lower her temperature when she lays on it, and it'll keep her cooler, and then it rejuvenates if she gets off and gets cold again and that type of thing. So that was yesterday morning. When I woke up in the morning, I came out, and she normally sleeps in the second bedroom on her own bed. But in the morning, she come out and she's on her cooling pad. So that's how I try and keep her cool.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, that's my doggy story. That's Misha. You're killing me with these photos. I love the pups. Absolutely, Shay. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it here. Anyway, Misha, you will hear her, and anybody who's watched my other channel knows every once in a while Misha will start barking. And so then I've got to mute my mic or do something for her. Hey, we got Gary Jackson Morehead in the house. Hey, Jackson, how you doing,
Jackson?
brother? Man, yeah, Jackson's my man. I've known Jackson for many, many, many years. So welcome. He's in the house. And then we've got Betsy Sue.
Very
Betsy
awesome.
Sue's in the house. Hello, greetings from
Betsy
Myrtle
Sue.
Beach, South Carolina.
Wow.
Thanks so much, Betsy Sue, for being here. We really appreciate that. Anyway.
Speaking of beautiful weather.
Oh, Myrtle Beach? Oh, I'll bet.
Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, not in the summertime.
Yeah.
Pretty humid there, I bet, in the summer. And then Jackson says, yo, yo. Hey, that's it, brother. Yo, yo, yo. Anyway, I don't know if do you have dogs, Steve?
I do. I've got 3 greyhounds. So my dogs, unlike yours, who's designed for the winter, mine hate the winter. They will they will like hold their stuff as long as they can and just like go out. They'll try to go out like once a day, but of course that doesn't fly. There was a point this winter where we had snow here. It's probably 16 inches. It went up to their armpits, and greyhounds are not small dogs, but they have pretty long legs, but also pretty thin legs. But yeah, the snow went all the way up to their armpits there. So it was kind of that have to create some sort of snow-blown design in the snow so they can get out and do their stuff. But yeah, they are. And it was funny watching Misha play because while my dogs like to, run around, do their thing, they're not really toy dogs. They don't really like to play with stuff. So they'll just kind of wander around the yard and then realize, oh, I can run in a counterclockwise circle, which is the direction they ran at the racetracks.
So you rescued them, I take it, right? Adopted them.
Yeah. No, absolutely. They all come from a local greyhound organization that brings dogs in either from breeders here in Colorado or breeders, it depends, but they'll bring dogs in after they've kind of spent some time at the doggy what's it called? The halfway house. So they spend some time at a place and start to get normalized, and then they come and live as fosters for a while, and then they get adopted out. And yeah, I've got all of them from the same organization, and they're fantastic dogs.
That's fantastic. I've seen that advertised before in the past here in Vegas, and then when I lived in Texas. And they had a Greyhound track in Texas, which I went to. We went to several times, and it was a lot of fun, you know. But those dogs, like you said, at some point they have to be adopted out, and they're wonderful dogs. I'll bet you, your dogs love running. My dog Misha loves to run. I don't have a yard. I have a front patio. That's why, literally, as I point to my left, that's the front door, and there's a patio out there, and she loves to hang out there. But I have a dog park literally about a half a block away, and she can run there. And boy, does she's like a bullet. And of course, your greyhounds would probably outpace her really bad, but my dog really loves to run.
Yeah. Oh no, they absolutely do. I can't unless I'm in a fully enclosed area like the backyard here, which is got a 6-foot privacy fence all the way around. I can't let them off leash because they'll run and then like forget, how did I get here? And you know, it's not as easy as, oh, I just turn around and go the same way. But yeah, they are so incredibly, I mean, they're, you know, the catchphrase is 45 or what is it, 45 mile an hour couch potatoes. They do sleep most of the day, but man, they can run when it's time to run.
Yeah, no, and my dog's the same way. She's gotten out a couple of times, and she literally will run towards the road, and I have to. It really freaked me out the first time, and I, you know, because I have to get her, because to her it's like, hey, I'm free, I can run around, you know, and she loves to run, so I have to be very careful that I keep her on the leash, and then I do let her out to run. She'll even run around the house, which is kind of fun. She gets what we call the zoomies. I think a lot of dog owners know about that, where the dogs get they just want to run in all directions, you know, and have a good time. I see Jackson here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, hey, Jackson. No, no. Do Jackson.
No. Jackson says, don't know if you remember, Mark, but I had a husky at the base. His name was Yukon, and got him from Peach, Vicky Asnaran's communicator, as she couldn't care for him. I remember Peach, and I definitely remember the husky, Jackson. Yeah, they're great dogs. You know, most of the dogs at the Gold Base were German Shepherds, because I think the security guards could justify the fact that, well, we're guards, so we can have German Shepherds, and that's what a lot of the security guards had, including Vicky Asnaran and Rick Asnaran. They had German Shepherds and stuff, beautiful dogs. But Huskies are great dogs. I'd never had she's not really a big dog. My dog's 47 pounds. She's a medium-sized dog. I didn't want a big dog. But then when I was around Cecil, the Rhodesian Ridgeback, he's just a love bug. You just want to hug him all the time. But again, he's big. So, you know, in a small place, it really didn't work out too well. But anyway. I see Jenny H is in the house. Good morning.
Big dogs. Hi, Jenny.
Thank you. Nice to see you here. And Shay Anderson says she'd said, "Oh, we should change dogs," and she changed it to, "You should switch children." I'm not giving up my Misha. I love
no.
Anyway, for anybody who arrived late, I played a video of Misha playing, and you know, but that's how we got on the subject of dogs and all that. I think we're ready for the next subject that we're going to talk about here. Bing, 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 bing. And that is Las Vegas news, our friends. Of course, I live in Las Vegas. My channel is Las Vegas Travel and More. And please subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. But anyway, the latest news in Las Vegas. I don't know. You've been to Las Vegas, of course, Steve-O, haven't you?
I absolutely, many times.
Well, do you remember the Mirage Hotel? It's Steve Wynn. It was the jewel of the Strip for many, many years. It's still there. But unfortunately, about a year ago, it got bought by the Hard Rock Cafe, Hard Rock Hotels. And they basically are going to revamp the hotel. And this has been in the works for a while. And this is right out front, looking from Las Vegas Boulevard towards the hotel itself. And then on the right there, you see like a water fountain that's a volcano. And the volcano goes off in the evening, like, I don't know, every 20 minutes with fire and everything coming out of it. And it's just a really, really beautiful sight. Well, anyway, the Hard Rock has decided that they're going to close down the hotel and then reimagine it as the Hard Rock Hotel. And so this is a model of what it's going to be. And you can see the same hotel there on the right there. but they're going to build where the fountain was and the volcano. And I'm going to get up closer here. They're going to build a guitar-shaped hotel tower. Okay. In other words, this is Las Vegas Boulevard on the left there. And then this is a hotel tower shaped like a guitar. So that's what the hotel is going to look like when it's done. And they're going to get rid of that beautiful, lush volcano. I don't know how that's going to work, but, you know, change. We tear down our history here in Las Vegas, as they say. You know, all the famous old hotels, like the Tropicana Hotel, just closed, and it's going to be imploded after 70 years here, and that's going to be where the new baseball stadium is going to be. So that's what happens here. Yeah, it is cool. It's going to be shaped like a guitar. I agree, Betsy Sue. But
so I can stay in the neck if I want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I see somebody else here. John Shamwowski is here. Hello, Denver. Mark, Gary Morehead, everyone else.
John.
Hi, it's good to see you here, John. Thanks very much.
Always good, John.
And Jenny H says, I live in Las Vegas. Where's it at? Here she is. I live in, oh, good, Jenny. It's fantastic here. Anyway, so they're going to do that. But the other thing that's going to happen at the Mirage, one of its most famous shows is the Cirque du Soleil show, the Beatles love. And it's a fantastic show. It's been running there for like 18 years. And unfortunately, they announced that the shows are going to end, I think, sometime in June or July. And that's going to be it because they're going to be shutting down the hotel. But I literally remember this show because I went 2 days before the grand opening, performance of the show. They had like a locals only show, and I went and saw it. And it was fantastic. And I've seen it probably 4 times since then. And the show is in the round. It's the stage, like literally the seats are in the round, and then the stage is in the center. And all this stuff happens above you and in front of you. And the stage goes up and down. And they perform all these different things to Beatles songs. And it was, of course, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, and at the time George Harrison was still alive. They all participated in it, and the sound is amazing, and it's a tribute to the Beatles. And it is a fantastic show. Unfortunately, now it's going to be closing down. So anyway, if you're coming to Las Vegas, now's the time to book tickets if you want to see the show. It's definitely worthwhile seeing.
That would be the perfect show to play at the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah,
because it's the Beatles, but
yeah. Betsy Sue said I should get tickets to see the very last show. Yeah, that would be great. I got to see how much they cost. Ticket prices have gone way up in this year, this time of year in the shows. But anyway, so that's the latest Las Vegas news, and we had other Las Vegas news too. That's kind of on the bad side. But O.J. Simpson was a resident here for the last 5 years, and he passed away on Wednesday. The infamous O.J. Simpson, football player. Murder or double murder, however you think about him. But anyway, he lived in Summerlin, and he'd been, in a community there, and he did videos and stuff like that. But he passed away, and that was also big news here in Las Vegas. So anyway, that's the Las Vegas news portion of the show. Have you been recently? When was the last time you came to Vegas?
No, well, about within the last decade, probably 5 or 6 years ago, I think was the last time that I was there. Seems like a lot of times that I end up in Vegas, and probably not surprising. I mean, I think a lot of people, this is the case, ending up in Vegas for business, there's some sort of conference or some sort of something. And yeah, that was for years. I would go every spring, right around this time, actually, right in March. And then I just haven't been going. I've since taken on a different position, but we always try to sneak stuff in when we're there. It's like, okay, you need us till 9 o'clock. What can we see as a show? What can we do here? How much can we drink at the buffet? It's good stuff.
Well, anyway, Boda29 says, Mark, did you see the BravoCon this year? I know what you're talking about. That's the convention of all the Bravo TV shows, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the Real Housewives of Orange County. I got to admit, I did not, and I wish I knew it was here, because I am a closet, talking about TV shows, we're going to talk about that. I'm a closet reality TV show fan. And the show I like to watch on Bravo is Below Deck, which is the show about yachting, where they they have cameras on these luxury yachts in the Caribbean and in Europe and the Mediterranean, and they follow the crew and their charter guests on their charter season for 6 weeks. And it's a total soap opera, but it's also shows you this luxury lifestyle on a super yacht. And I started watching from the first season, and I'm hooked. And they literally will run one season below deck Mediterranean, and then it'll be below deck sailing yacht, and then it'll be below deck Australia. So there's always a below deck show on Bravo, and it is a fun show. And Jenny says, I love Below Deck. I do too. I watch it every Monday night. I enjoy it very much. It's a pretty wild show. It's kind of like the old Real World, or the MTV show, with the crew all go out drinking and partying, and who's hooking up with who, Meanwhile, they got to deal with these charter guests that pay tens of thousands of dollars while they're on the check. But anyway, so we've been watching that. Betsy Sue says, I've been watching Sister Wives on TLC for nearly 2 years. Yep. Reality TV is great. My other favorite reality show that I've watched since season 1 is Survivor on CBS. I've watched it. I think they're on season 48 right now, and I've watched every season. That started off like a lot of fun, and then I've just gotten used to it now, so I watch it. And then my all-time favorite reality show is called The Amazing Race, which is also on CBS. And that's where, have you ever seen that? That's where they get teams of 2, and they travel around the world in a race, to each location, and there'd be like a pit stop, and the last person to arrive at the pit stop, those team, they're eliminated. And then the last one who wins the race wins $1 million, And what I love about that show is that you get to see the world. I mean, they've been in, I don't know how many countries, and they always have to do really amazing things like, bungee jumping off a bridge, or, go into an art museum. I mean, there's all sorts of things that they do. It's a lot of fun. And I've been watching that show too. How about you? Do you watch any reality TV?
I do. I've actually talked about this lately on my channel. I am a huge fan of Shark Tank. Me too. I cannot not watch. In fact, I've gone back. Hulu has quite a few of the seasons, and it's kind of fun to start back at the beginning and go, who's that Kevin Harrington guy? Where's Mark Cuban? that kind of thing.
Kevin O'Leary, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mr.
I love
Wonderful.
Yeah. Mr. Wonderful. And I've been catching, actually on YouTube lately, I've been catching some of the Canadian Dragon's Den, which has Mr. Wonderful. It's I think it came first, but so it was Kevin O'Leary and Robert Herjavec were dragons in Canada, and then they came down and were kind of the first of the 2 of the first of the sharks. And it's just, and then Australia's got Shark Tank, and England's got Dragon's Den, but it's essentially the same thing.
Well, and the one common denominator between those shows is that it's produced by the same guy, Mark Burnett.
Exactly.
Survivor. Exactly. And then he did Shark Tank. And what I love about Shark Tank is 2 things. I learn a lot about business just watching that show. You know what I mean?
Yep.
How do investors look at a business? You can usually tell when the people come in whether or not somebody's going to invest in it or not now, after watching it for so many years. And then it's entertaining, some of the business ideas and the different products that these people come up with.
Absolutely. It's fun to watch and see how people, the early seasons, when people didn't quite know, they would come in and, hi, I am selling this, and I would like to introduce you to my product. And it was really, they had boring presentations. Now people come out, and you'll have 3 or 4 people, and they'll do a rap together and there's just a whole, it's like, to present to the sharks, you have to have production value. And so they just do these amazing things to get the sharks' attention. But yeah, Shark Tank's a big reality one that I watch.
Shark Tank is on ABC. Jenny,
Shark Tank.
It's on ABC.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Yes.
But they also rerun it on CNBC. If you get CNBC, they literally rerun all the past seasons. They've got like 13 seasons, and you can watch an old one. They're still really entertaining.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know if I've watched any more reality lately. I for about 10 minutes I got caught on the what was the TLC one? 90 Day Fiance.
Oh,
I was watching that for a while. And then I got confused because it's like 90 day and before and after and around the 90 days and 90 days plus one. And I don't know. I couldn't follow. So I just went, and just kind of, because people that'll show up on one show, they'll be on 90 Day Fiance and maybe they don't get married. They'll end up then on like before the 90 days and they'll have another coupling or something, and so you've got to, it's probably like this Below Deck. You've got to kind of watch them all to follow along, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I'm just like, I don't know. So I'll if stuff is on, I'll turn it on and I'll watch it. But yeah, I've kind of become a re-obsessed with Shark Tank lately.
that's great. Well, that leads me to my next segment of the show.
Great.
Here we go. Where did that come from? What are you watching? What are you watching? On TV, on Netflix, on Hulu, on HBO Max. What are you watching?
Sure.
Well, I'm going to feature a couple of shows that I just finished watching that I wanted to recommend to people, and we can just
Awesome.
discuss. Okay. The first one here is on HBO Max. It used to be HBO, and now it's Max or whatever. Anyway, the show's called Tokyo Vice. Okay, and it's just finished season 2, and it's a fantastic show. It's produced by a guy named Michael Mann, who anybody who knows Hollywood or knows movies,
Yeah.
he produced the Miami Vice TV show back in the day, but he also produced the movie Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and Val Kilmer back in the day. He's very stylized and very action packed, and it's a great show. This show, Tokyo Vice, takes place. It is exactly what it says. They film it in Tokyo. It's about the Yakuza, which is like the Japanese crime, mafia crime family. And Ken Watanabe, who's the guy on the left in this picture, he was in The Last Samurai. He was the guy against Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai. But anyway, he's like an old cop in Tokyo. And then the young guy in the middle, I forget his name exactly, but he was in the movie Baby Driver. He was the guy who was the driver with Kevin Spacey, whatever. And anyway, he's an American who's a newspaper guy over in Tokyo, and he knows how to speak Japanese and that type of thing. Anyway, it's a whole story about them going after the Yakuza, which is the Japanese crime family, and the whole intricacies of Japanese society today. And I love Japan. If anybody who's ever been to Tokyo or any place in Japan, the city is amazing. It's just so clean and so modern, and that's the way the show looks as well. Now, the only problem some people have with it is that obviously it has to have subtitles because a lot of times they're speaking Japanese, but they put the English subtitles underneath. Okay, I've gotten used to it because I'm becoming an old fart, right? I couldn't watch Game of Thrones and they speak English without the closed captioning on because I couldn't understand what the heck were they saying on Game of Thrones. So anyway, so I'm used to now just reading, when it's on there. When they have somebody speaking Japanese, they put the English up there and you can read it and follow along. But some people don't like that, but that's my recommendation. Season 1 and season 2 are on HBO Max, and it's a really, really good show. Anyway, so that's my first recommendation. The other show that I recommend is on Netflix, and it's called The Gentleman, and it's like an 8-part series, whatever. And I just finished it a couple weeks ago, but it's really, really good. If you like, it's kind of like a stylized crime type thing, like kind of like not like Breaking Bad, but more stylized than that. It's actually produced by Guy Ritchie, who was the British director who used to be married to Madonna back in the day. And anyway, and it's not like the movie. I thought it was going to be kind of like The Kingsman or something like that, but it's not. It's more the guy on the left there. Basically, his father is a duke and has this huge estate in rural London, and he inherits it from his father and finds out that there's a marijuana operation going on underneath their dairy farm that the organized crime runs, and he didn't know anything about it, but his dad set it up, and they get $5 million a year just to keep quiet and let it alone. Anyway, he doesn't really want to do that, so it's very intricate, very involved, great characters. And the other guy that's on it. Did you ever watch Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Remember Gus Fring, the guy who owned Los Pollos Hermanos or whatever. He was the
Sure.
he's in the show, and he's really good in it too. So anyway, so you can find this on Netflix. It's called The Gentleman. I highly recommend that one as well. And then the third thing I wanted to recommend is I don't go to the movie theater anymore. I don't know about anybody else, but I am one of Hollywood's lost causes, okay? Because I used to go to the movies every weekend, every Saturday morning. I went to the early show at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, which was the discount show, and I would see whatever movie was playing. Okay. Well, they lost me about 4.5 years ago. The last time I had been in a movie theater was when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out by Quentin Tarantino, and it was right like December of 2019. And then COVID hit, right? And I haven't been in a movie theater since, right? Because I got so used to, and I'm sure a lot of people, you got so used to just watching, streaming them at home on your big screen TV with your stereo sound, and you can pause it to go to the bathroom, and you don't pay $20 for popcorn and a drink. I used to go every Saturday to see that. I have no desire to go to the movie theaters anymore, right? But anyway, I watched this movie, and it's on HBO Max again, and it was really an interesting movie, and I highly recommend it. And it's called Dream Scenario, okay? And that is Nicolas Cage, okay? It's called Dream Scenario, and I was intrigued when I saw this thumbnail, and I went, "Oh wow, look at Nicolas Cage. That's kind of funny," that type of thing, right? Anyway, Nicolas Cage has made like a gazillion movies over the last several years because he got in a lot of financial trouble and he needed to make a lot of money. So I haven't really watched too many of his movies. He's a good, really great actor, and this one reminded me of it. But anyway, without giving away the whole plot, Dream Scenario is about, he's like this nerdy kind of college professor with a wife and 2 kids. And he's just a college professor that lectures the students and stuff. All of a sudden, he starts showing up in his students' dreams, just standing there watching whatever's going on in the dream. And the students start bringing it up to each other and then talking to him about it. And he's kind of like, "Well, what do I do in the dreams?" And they go, "Nothing, you're just standing there." And he's just like, "Oh, that's strange," right? So anyway, it starts progressing where more and more people are seeing him in their dreams, including his daughters and other people around him. And then he becomes like a national media hero, like, it becomes a story, and it's kind of a commentary on today's social media and this and that. And he becomes like this celebrity just because he's in people's dreams, right? And all he wants to do is publish his book on some sort of, biology thing or whatever, but that he's now become this celebrity. And then they show how it turns on him eventually, where they're like, all of a sudden he's in their dreams and their nightmare dreams and stuff like that. So then people are like trying to videotape him and agitate him on social media, so he'll negatively respond, and then they all start attacking him and canceling him and this and that. It's a really thought-provoking movie. It's very entertaining. Nicolas Cage is really good in it. And so I recommend the movie to anybody that wants to see it. It's Dream Scenario. It's on HBO Max, which is now called Max. You can see it there, or you can actually search and see if you can find someplace else. So anyway, I wanted to mention that to you. Do you have any, are you a Nicolas Cage fan at all, or any favorite movies of his?
He's hot and cold to me. He's done some great stuff, and he's done some, what was it? Bad Lieutenant, I think, was just a hideous film. But he's done some interesting stuff. Seems like lately Nicolas Cage has kind of become that. Who's the writer? Is it Charlie Kaufman? Being John Malkovich, that type of thing. So
he was in that movie. Adaptation was a really good movie that he was.
Adaptation was another one of theirs, yeah, and it was very good. So he's the stuff he's done lately seems to be a little more compelling than for the longest time.
My favorite Nicolas Cage is Vegas movies. Okay, of course he won his Academy Award for Leaving Las Vegas, where he's an alcoholic and he kills himself, right? But my favorite movie of his it's a comedy. It's a romantic comedy called Honeymoon in Las Vegas with Sarah Jessica Parker and James
Yes.
Caan. And
Yep.
that movie introduced the world to the Flying Elvis, the Flying Elvi. Remember the skydiving team that all dress up to be like Elvis Presley, and they're jumping out of the plane to land it. That was filmed at what was the Bally's Hotel, and it just changed over. Now it's the Horseshoe Hotel, right across from the Bellagio and Caesar's Palace. And they filmed that whole movie there and also in Hawaii. And it is so funny. It's still funny to this day when I see it. It's called Honeymoon in Vegas. Anybody wants to see it, they can see that movie. But he's also done some other interesting movies too. But like I said, recently he's in all these horror movies, and he's done like a whole bunch, like Ghost Rider and all these different things. And he's done like so many movies that it's too many for me. He does movies I don't watch because, like I said, he got in a really bad financial situation and he needed to make money. But he lives actually here in Las Vegas. I saw a 60 Minutes story on him recently. He's lived here for several years with his wife, and what he does, he lives in an old school Vegas neighborhood called Rancho Circle, where some of the Rat Pack used to live and that type of thing. And he's in like an old mid-century home, but it's really nice. And he drives around in his, he's got a Ferrari that he drives around in with his wife and kid, and so he's a Vegas local. But so that's kind of interesting too.
Nick Cage, get a Tesla. They're better on the environment.
Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker was really hot in that movie too. Just for guys in that movie, this is 1990 when they filmed that thing, and it was really, really good. So
I still have a crush on her from her role in Footloose, because I was I don't know, I was like 12 or something when Footloose came out, and she was I don't know, maybe 18 or something. I don't know what she was, but that was Nicolas Cage. I mean, who doesn't love Face Off, right? I mean, just that whole thing. And
Travolta did a good job in that movie too. He played. He actually had to become Nicolas Cage. When they changed faces and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Travolta had
also another good one.
Con Air was great. No, Travolta had a great comeback for a while with things like that, and what was the Broken Arrow with Christian Slater. This was kind of all right around or right after the he truly came back with Pulp Fiction. But he had a few good, and then there's those Talking Baby movies that he did for a while
Treasure.
too.
National
Treasure, yes,
that was a really good movie. They did a couple of those.
Yeah. Both of those were decent films.
Yeah. And then Shea Anderson says Face Off was a garbage movie film. Okay, everybody's open to their opinion. We share all opinions here. It doesn't matter.
No, and absolutely, it's just one of those summer blockbuster type film things. Those just kind of crap, but it's kind of I just going back to the time, and I just remember at the time I really enjoyed it. Although it was one of those movies like Speed, it could have ended about 40 minutes before it actually ended. So
and that gets me to my next commentary on movies, okay, which is that they don't really make movies. Gone in 60 Seconds, that's another good one. Sorry, I just caught that comment there. That's a good movie. Nicolas Cage, Angelina Jolie. But they don't make movies the way I like them anymore. I mean, look at people love superhero movies, but for me, there's just too many of them. Okay, how many times do you have to have some evil warlord like Xenu who's going to destroy the world, and they need Superman or the Avengers or Hulk or somebody to stop them from destroying the world? And meanwhile, buildings get shattered everywhere and blown up and this and that, you know what I mean? I mean, that seems to be the story of every superhero movie that I see, with a little differences. The only one that I really like recently has been Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds, because he's funny, when he's doing the action stuff like that. And Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought that was funny and entertaining, but they just keep pumping these things out because they sell a lot of tickets and a lot of popcorn. And I much prefer movies that make you think or have a great story, that type of thing. And even like the movie that won Best Picture this year, Oppenheimer, I waited till I could see it for free on my streaming services, you know.
Sure.
It's just too long. I mean, when you're watching a movie and it's almost 3 hours long, come on. I mean, you know, people aren't going to sit through something that's long in the theater, you know. But anyway,
right. I want to be able to pause it and go to the bathroom and grab a soda out of the fridge or something when it's that long. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I very much liked Oppenheimer, and I thought the story of J. Robert Oppenheimer is something that's transfixed me since I was a kid. And so it was interesting. I enjoyed that. I too have gotten really tired of most of the superhero films. I thought when Iron Man first came out and you know, Robert Downey Jr. again, very humorous in that role. It was that was, I mean, it obviously sparked something and really proved that they had a formula that they could work with. There are only a few of those Avenger movies, or I guess the Marvel movies in general, that I've really been able to enjoy, because too many, and Guardians of the Galaxy, that series was definitely in there, because they're long, they're dependent, everything has to be linked to the next one, and I don't need sequels that, you know, I have to go to this movie to see then to see this movie and then this one and this one. You know, but I did, and
well, and I got another one
money.
for you. I got another one for you, John Wick. Okay,
Wick is fantastic.
I know, but I watched the first one, was great, and then I watched the second one. I recently went on Netflix to watch the third one, and it was just went from one action scene to the next,
Right.
There was never any breather like, okay, well, now he gets to at least clean himself up and all that. No, he's constantly being attacked. And it just wore me out. I made it halfway through the movie and I went, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm exhausted watching the movie.
Well, and it's, you know, and that harkens back to days like Die Hard, right? The original Die Hard was a fantastic film, a Christmas film, by the way, for anybody who says it's not. And it was it was a fantastic film. Did it need 4 sequels? It absolutely didn't. And the second one was okay. The third one was pretty good. 4 and 5 were horrible, but if you kind of look at the arc of this character, the first scenario was a believable scenario, but then to keep falling into these scenarios where, you know, crap happens, it's just, and that's kind of the same thing with Wick. You know, I like the series, but I guess now that you mention it, 3, it probably got a little crazy there. But you know, and it's one of those things where it's just, they don't need to, you know, success doesn't need to mean 400 sequels to something. I mean, you know, if you've got a good quality story, even if it is an action story, let it go. You know, Hollywood, let it go. I mean, make your money off of merchandise or something, but you don't need to kill the character with movie sequels. So
do you know, Denver Steve, you can actually go on Ask Siri on your phone how many people died in the John Wick movies, and they have a body count. The one I saw was like 356 people had died in John Wick movies, or something ridiculous.
That's hilarious. I remember as a kid watching some of the Steven Seagal films, and we would actually do a manual count. Okay, that's 1, that's 2. Oh, there's 4 more. You know, we're up to 6. We're up to 12. And I think one of them, he had like, he had like 50, 55 people he killed. Nothing as effective as John Wick, but that's funny that we used to do that. Now Siri can do that all for us.
Yeah.
Not
okay, you, Siri. For our next, somebody's here. We got our next segment here. Okay. And I wanted to add this in here, and it's, what are you reading? Okay, reading, people still do reading here. And I wanted to talk about how I read books and what I'm reading these days. Okay. Um, I read not the books. I listen to audiobooks. Okay. I spend too much time in the car, and I got hooked on this 10 years ago where I can actually listen to a book and listen to a chapter or two while I'm driving. And before you know it, the book is done. I've gone through 1,200-page books like that, And so I listen on audio, but some people like to pick up a book and read it, and I have done that. Mitch Brisker's latest book, I got a hard copy and I read that, right? But this is a book that I just finished reading that I wanted to recommend. It's by Michael Connelly, and it's called Resurrection Walk. And it's a detective story. Michael Connelly is famous for The Lincoln Lawyer and also for the Harry Bosch series, or Bosch. If anybody's watched Bosch on Netflix or whatever it is, Hulu, or I forget which one it's on, but they're fantastic crime stories located in Los Angeles. Michael Connelly was a crime reporter, police reporter for the Los Angeles Times for years, starting in the 1970s. He started writing the Harry Bosch series, and then he did The Lincoln Lawyer. The Lincoln Lawyer was portrayed by Matthew McConaughey on the big screen, and now they have it on Netflix, and there's a different actor in it, and I don't like it as much because I like Matthew McConaughey as it. But anyway, this is his latest book. It's called Resurrection Walk. I just finished reading it. Okay, and it's a combination Lincoln Lawyer, Harry Bosch book. For those who don't know the series at all, the guy who's the Lincoln Lawyer, his name's Mickey Howler. Harry Bosch is his half brother. So this is a series where they basically are both in the book. And what I like about it, this is Harry Bosch for anybody who doesn't know. Titus Welliver plays Harry Bosch in the TV series. But what I love about when I listen to the audiobook is that he does the voice of Harry Bosch on the Bosch books. And then they have another actor who does Mickey Cohen, the Lincoln Lawyer. And so it's like listening to a play in your car while you're listening to the murder drama. The other thing I really love about the book is, like I mentioned before, it takes place in Los Angeles, and I lived in Los Angeles for several years. It's one of my favorite cities to go visit. And he sets the stories on different locations in the Hollywood Hills or in Beverly Hills or West Hollywood or this and that, and restaurants and bars. And I know these places, so it's kind of fun to just visualize it while I'm listening to the story. So I wanted to this book, Resurrection Walk. It's a really good one. If you're interested in reading or listening to audiobooks, you can actually get the hard copy book, but the audiobooks are fantastic. Anyway, how about you?
I was just wondering if Harry Bosch ever eats at La Poubelle.
No, he doesn't eat there, but he eats at a place called Dupar's, which is a famous breakfast place near the Hollywood Fairfax district. And they have one here in Las Vegas as well. And so I went to the one here in Las Vegas, and it wasn't very good. But, he goes to all these different places. He'll go downtown and they'll mention some Chinese restaurant that's downtown, and the courthouse and the this and the that. And so it's kind of cool. Anyway.
Very cool. Very cool. So
go ahead.
I've been reading a couple of things kind of on and off. Mitch's book is one that I just have to finish it. I've been kind of dragging tail on that one, and I really just need to finish his book. There's another book that I started reading, and again, just really need to sit down and finish it. It's called Cultish: The Language of Fanaticism, and it's by...
Is that Steve Hostin?
No, it's Amanda Montell, I think. It's a relatively recent book. I think it just came out, 2020, 2021. So it's not that old of a book, but it's just really interesting. I'm trying to immerse myself in cultishness, right? People who have been in cults try to get away from it, and people who, the never-ends trying to dive into it and understand it more. So just an interesting book. And yeah, it's kind of, well, it's as the title mentions it's about kind of the language of cults and fanaticism, but also kind of the it's not just the language that is in the words, but as in the motivations and
Is it Amanda Montell? Shay Anderson says, is that the author?
Amanda Montell, yeah, that's it, Shay.
Thanks, Shay.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, probably a third of the way through it, and I, you know, I suppose I recommend it. It isn't bothering me. It's I'm learning from it. So, but otherwise, I haven't read a whole lot lately. I bought, but haven't read yet, Walter Isaacson's biography of Elon Musk. I'm a big fan of Isaacson.
Oh, I read that. I did
the Elon Musk one.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. The audiobook. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. I wanted to know more about Elon Musk. I love biographies. That's my favorite style of book.
Me too.
I read most biographies.
I love
things about people, historical figures. But anyway, Elon Musk, I didn't know much about him except that he's changing all sorts of things and doing great. You know, he's going into space. But yeah, the book is fantastic. Plus, because he cooperated with Walter Isaacson and he let all of his family and friends cooperate too. So you really feel like you're getting the real story.
Well, and that's something that's something very, very much very Isaacson. I mean, when he wrote the Steve Jobs biography,
Walter Isaacson, I think his name is. Yeah.
Yeah, Walter Isaacson. He immersed himself with Jobs and you know with the folks at Apple. So he really that's really the way he writes, and he's been a great biographer for years. And so just the fact that this was the newest one of his things I wanted to see. I wanted to read this as well. So I own it. I just haven't spent any time cracking it open. So.
Well, and that's
maybe
why
I should do the audio
version. Yeah. No, because that's why I did it. It's like 12 hours long. I mean, I can spend 12 hours in the car in like 3 weeks. You know what I mean? I do a lot of driving. And so I just turn it on. What I love about audiobooks when I'm driving is that I can drive and pay attention, but I have my attention on the book, and it just makes the drive, if you're stuck in traffic or whatever, go so much smoother. I don't know. I listen to podcasts too, and that helps. That does as well. But I love books, so biographies are my number one favorite. But that one on Elon Musk is really good, really good. I was also going to mention, there's another show that's on right now on Hulu that I didn't want to cover yet because they still got 2 episodes left that, of course, I'm looking forward to reviewing, and that's Shogun, which is my favorite novel of all time. It's almost 1,200 pages long, and I've read it. I read it hard copy twice, but then I've listened to it. I have it on audio, and I've listened to it 4 or 5 times because it's 35 hours of listening. Okay, but it's fantastic. It's my all-time favorite book. And then I watched the 1980 miniseries with Richard Chamberlain and Toshiro Mifune in 1980 when it first came out. Loved it then too. So I was interested in seeing this remake. I've been wanting them to do something like this for a while. And I'll save my review for once it's all done because I don't want to give anything away. But that'll be coming up in a future episode of Freestyle with Mark Fisher. We'll be talking about Shogun.
Very cool. I keep seeing it because I keep going to Hulu to watch Shark Tank and to watch all those reruns. And so I keep seeing Shogun there. I've recently become a lot. I've gotten a lot more respect for Hulu lately, and I don't know why I had a lack of respect for it, but with things like Shogun and things like
it probably was the name.
What's that?
Hulu. I said it probably
maybe, but when now Hulu carries the Orville, which is the Seth MacFarlane.
Oh yeah.
Better than Star Trek parody or spoof. It's not even, I can't call it a spoof because it's like what Star Trek used to be, but with a lot of Seth MacFarlane type humor. And so I've spent a lot more time on Hulu, and of course then I see more things that Hulu's that they have. I'm like, oh, that's Hulu too. So I really appreciate if you stopped paying for the Hulu, get back on it. It's a good stream.
I did the same thing. Now I got back on it again, not because of the Shogun, but Janice, I finally got Janice to watch the show Lost, which is my all-time favorite TV show. I've watched that 5 or 6 times through, and she'd never seen it, and it was on Hulu. So I had to get Hulu so that I actually wanted to see where she was at. Hey, how far did you get? She was like binging it like 4 or 5 shows a night, She got through 6 seasons in about 2 weeks, just watching at night. And
of course.
And so I got it, and that's when I started watching a couple other shows that I'll recommend in the future on Hulu. And yeah, you're right, they're doing a good job. They've got some other things here. I was going to just pop this up here. Levitt says, my all-time favorite book is One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich. By end of the book, you feel so grateful and at peace. Oh, great. That's a good recommendation. I've never read that. Thank you for that recommendation. Listen, by the way, for everybody out there, if you've got recommendations, things that you like, put them in the comments, put them in the chat. I'm open to everything, and anything that you guys have want to say and stuff. But I did want to mention the next thing I wanted to mention, okay, is for Janice. Of course, you and I both know Janice and all that. We're not getting any younger, any of us. And if anybody's interested, she has a great product. It's called Koala Calm. Okay, and you can actually order it. It's a magnesium drink that you can drink at night. It helps with anxiety. It helps you to be able to go to sleep. It's just a wonderful, wonderful product. And you could order it if you like at our store. That's the address right there. It's only $19.99 if you want it. It'll last. You just take a teaspoon in a cup of hot water, and it comes in apple cinnamon and also unflavored. You can put it in orange juice. You can put it in whatever you want. But if you're having trouble with stress or achy bones or this and that, her Koala Calm is just a really great product. So I wanted to mention that. And like I said, that's the website address for our YouTube store on our other channel, and you can actually order it there. It's just $19.99 plus shipping and handling in the United States. But I just wanted to recommend that to her. I told Janice that I would mention that in the show. Cool. So I wanted to mention that. And yes, you can read Janice's books too on that same store. You can actually order autographed copies of Janice's book. And you've got both of them, I know, because we sent them to you, Steve.
I do. With nice little Janice messages, yes.
Love it. Question, does Janice do samples? If it works for me, I would buy it. I don't know. She's out of town this weekend, but I'll ask her. I don't know if they have like little sample packets or whatever, but I know you don't take my word for it all. You don't have to, but I use it every once in a while. I don't have to use it every night, but I like to drink it, and I heat up some water and I put it in, and it just sit there, and I sip it instead of a cup of tea, and it helps me relax and go to sleep. So I don't need it all the time, but it is there. So anyway, just wanted to mention that to them. Hey, any questions? Please get in the chat. We're reaching the end here, but I wanted to ask anybody if you're late to the show, would you like to see the Misha, my little 1-minute Misha video again? For those who haven't seen it, I've got a really cute video of Misha, and just if you'd like to see it again, I'll run it again real quickly. Just get in the chat real quick and let me know if you're interested, because it's I think you might enjoy it. So if you came in late, just let me know. Janice is the best storyteller. Yeah, that is true. She is a good storyteller and all that. And also, by the way, if you would please subscribe to my channel. Just click on it, Las Vegas Travel and More. I'm trying to get up over 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 637, I think, right now, and I'm at 2,600 viewing hours. And you have to get to 4,000 viewing hours and 1,000 subscribers to get monetized. And the reason for this channel is, I do the one on Scientology and all that, and I'm going to continue to do that. But I can't do Scientology shows forever, and I'm getting older. I want something that I can do, which like this, where we can talk about books, movies, travel, whatever, and have fun with it. So I'm trying to get it up monetized, so that will help me with my retirement as I go forward and all that. So that's why I appreciate you guys all watching here, so that I get more hours, and then you can also subscribe to it as well. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say and if I can point right, like and subscribe. There you go. Wherever it is over there. Do it.
I got this one right here. Please subscribe to the channel. Okay, somebody wants me to run it again, so I'm just going to briefly run this. This is another feature that we're going to have each week on the show, and it has to do with Misha. So here you go. Just hold on here, and we'll be back in just a minute. There you go. There's Misha at play. Oh God, she's a great dog. Smash that like. Thank you, Lisa, Pete. I appreciate that. Smack the like and the views and all of that. And I'm glad that you love the video here. And then here's a question for you, Denver Stevo, from Shay Anderson. What was the motivation for the incredible discussion you streamed the other night? I didn't see that, so go ahead.
Well, Shay, thank you for saying it was incredible. Shucks. Honestly, truth. To steal one of Mark's metaphors, peeling the onion, looking at how things are. I don't know. It was just something that was just kind of hanging on my shoulders, and it just felt heavy, and it was just something that I wanted to kind of bring up. Yeah, I'll probably have more of those coming up too, because it's just, I think there's a lot of oh shoot, now I'm
brain farting.
I'm brain farting right now. Yeah, there's a lot of there's just kind of this noise out there, and I just kind of want to peel beyond the noise and just I don't think a lot of people realize some of the truths, and so looking at things like we looked at last week, it was just something. Yeah, like I say, there'll be more of those, and it's just kind of something I want to approach and acknowledge from time to time, is that there's a lot. There's
Steve,
I don't know.
John Samuelski wants to know, Denver, does Osa still smell like poo?
John, Osa will always smell like poo, my friend. Absolutely, yeah. They do, without a doubt. I somewhere here I have my poo pillow, but I don't know where it went. But oh well, they do. They absolutely do.
And Jenny phrased that, Mark, thank you for being on Poe last night. Yeah, I just literally popped into his channel. I mean, I popped on to watch, and then he had a guest that backed out. And he asked, hey, would you come on? And I said, sure. I was getting ready for this show today. And we had a nice long discussion. John's a great guy. We talked about different things and stuff like that. But as far as people, anybody, as I mentioned on John's show last night, and I'm sure I told Steve this, is that, our channel, Janice and I do Scientology Peeling the Onion. We're not getting involved in all the different, drama and stuff that's going on, because factually we have friends on both sides, and really it's their business to sort out. And our channel is not focused on that. There's lots of channels that do the protesting and the this and the that and all that, and we would just be another one doing that. What we try and do is tell the stories of the history of Scientology and L. Ron Hubbard and David Miscavige, because we were there, and we are able to get people that we can interview that were there too, and they feel safe coming on our channel because they're not going to be attacked. They're going to be able to tell their story the way they want to tell it. Now, we will challenge them, but we won't make them wrong. Do you know what I mean? And so that's been an important thing. And then the other factor that we do is we do tell stories of abuse. I mean, since I left Scientology in 1990, I mean, there's been horrific stories that I had no idea about. So we focus on those as well. And then we've also talked to the different people that have been speaking out for years. Some people that spoke out in Canada in the 1970s, John and Nan McLean, people like that, along with Paulette Cooper and all that. So we're trying to be a forum for people to get information and learn the history and learn about the stories. We're not into whatever the latest. We actually don't even cover their latest current events, like whatever's happening in Leah Remini's lawsuit or Danny Masterson. There's other channels that do that. We don't do that. So anyway, that's all. And it's not that we don't support them. We feel that everybody should be pushing in the same direction, and everybody should be staying focused on Scientology, the abuses, and David Miscavige. And that's our viewpoint on it. And whatever anybody else is doing, that's fine with us. This is what we're doing. So that's all.
that's been my take too. And I think I've been inspired by, folks like you and Janice. When I do a show, I think it was about a month ago now, I did a show that was like, it's, there's all this flinging back and forth, and what it does is we do lose focus, and the direction should be, well, quite honestly, just enough's enough, and hey, let's all push forward, and we got to get this done. So we could Scientology could end this year, or it could take another 70, God forbid. I don't think it will, but
I think ultimately, I mean, I hope that the lawsuits and the tax exemption and all that gets attacked. Yeah. I think ultimately David Miscavige is going to die, and then that's going to be it. I mean, when there's nobody, sure, you don't see anybody that he has out there that's going to take over from him, and whoever does take over from him can never be as sadistic as he is. And I think that it will crumble after he's gone over time. Now, unfortunately, we have to wait that out. But he's not getting any younger.
Very true.
He's 63 years old, and he's had poor health in the past. He has asthma. He has this and that. So who knows? But I think everybody pushing in the same direction. These channels, they weren't counting on this a year ago that all these channels were going on. I mean, we just had our anniversary on the other channel on Wednesday. 1 year, over 630,000 views on our videos. We did 195 videos. I was shocked when I saw how many. We interviewed over 47 people, some of them multiple times. And we just thought, who's interested in Scientology when we started this thing? I mean, we literally didn't have any idea, So what I love most about it too is that these shows are in the cyber universe, the web universe, forever. We've never been challenged by Miscavige or Scientology. Right. Nobody else has either, and he can't erase them. They're always going to be there. So 100 years from now, if somebody starts researching Scientology, they can watch our channel and they'll be able to see the stories about L. Ron Hubbard and what he was like, and the abuses that he was responsible for. So anyway, that's what I love about it, and that's why I do it.
Absolutely. By the way, my 1 year anniversary will be in 2 weeks. We'll have cake. So
I'll be there. Absolutely. I will be there. Hey, listen, everybody, I want to thank you all for being here on my first debut show. Like I said, this is going to be a weekly. I'm going to do it every Saturday morning, same time, 9 o'clock in the morning, Pacific, noon on the East Coast. And we're going to talk about other things too, but I'll recommend other movies, other shows, things like that I'm watching. And I'm welcome to your ideas as well, things that I should watch, because I'm always looking for something. I run out of something. So please, if you have any questions or comments, if you have any suggestions of shows, things like that, put them in there for me. I need to watch some of this stuff too. I'm a couch potato at heart. So anyway, any suggestions I'm open to, and I would really appreciate that. And then, as I mentioned before, please subscribe to the channel, Las Vegas Travel and More. We greatly appreciate it. Okay. And then if you want to donate to the channel, I'm not monetized, but you can buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description down below. You just click on it. You can buy me 1, 2, 10, 100 coffees. I don't care. I don't even actually drink coffee, but that's what they call it. They say you can make it buy me a beer or whatever, but I don't even really drink beer either. So just leave it at buy me a coffee.
I think there's buy me a pizza too. There's a whole bunch of them. So you can,
But anyway, no, we appreciate the support. I appreciate the people that support our other channel, and I appreciate the people that are here watching on Las Vegas Travel and More, and greatly appreciate you, Denver Steve-O, for being my first co-host guest on the channel,
pleasure.
Along with Misha.
Okay, great. It was fun.
Great. Anyway, if anybody has anything else they'd like to say, please go in the comments, and we appreciate it. I appreciate you all being here. And until next Saturday, bye-bye, everybody. Thanks, Denver Steve-O. Hold on after the show, and I'll talk to you. Bye-bye.
Sure. Bye, everybody.